M3GAN 2.0, of course, is the sequel to M3GAN, which was a really fun horror film. And that movie is a lot of fun, but it's also pure horror. I mean, kids are murdered by this murderous AI
69.
doll that becomes the protector of a child and goes to great lengths. It ends up being this child's friend who lost her family, Katie, in the film. Allison Williams is like her Gemma's like her adoptive mom.
Her aunt.
Her aunt who made M3GAN. And that first movie is a solid horror film. The second movie is vastly different in tone. It's more of a action thriller comedy that borrows from the plot of T2. M3GAN returns in a new form. She's taller, as is Katie, by the way. She's a growing girl. And M3GAN is now pitted against a new AI killer robot named Amelia. And it leads to some comical action sequences. I mean, it's the plot to this thing is very simple, but overly convoluted, unnecessarily, I think. But what I do like in the opening of the movie, the first few minutes of the film, is this complete rant. It's a whole, like, Allison Williams' character Gemma's now become this advocate, this anti-AI, anti-technology for kids advocate now.
Anti-cell phone,
anti-cell phone. Kids should not have that. I'm thinking, like, I like the way this movie's starting, because that's actually a message, I think. And by the way, I'm in a theater watching this movie with people on their freaking cell phones. Okay, set that aside for a second. But I will say you cannot take this one. The first M3GAN you could take seriously. You could believe it. It's somewhat believable. And they did pull back. The first M3GAN, I know for a fact, that was originally an R-rated version. One of the characters was beheaded, and so the deaths were more gruesome. But it leaned into the sort of comical aspect, the dances that M3GAN does. This movie is just an over-the-top version of the last, and it sets the horror aspects aside. Although there are a couple of good gruesome moments, but they're not over the top. The movie is PG-13. Alan, what did you think of M3GAN 2.0?
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm really on the fence on this one. I for a guy who doesn't like horror, I kind of wish this was a horror film and not. This is just a sci-fi robot film, and my thoughts about robots now. It's the question of whether we should sympathize with a robot because they're cute. I went through this whole rant about AI and Ironheart, and it just feels like that Hollywood is taking us in this direction where they're trying to lull us into this idea that robots are good and robots will protect us, especially the cute ones and the hot ones. And it's just weird how this seems to be the message that is being foisted upon us by Hollywood. But set that aside. I was a bit disappointed because I liked the first one. Not weirdly enough, but it was written and created by a Black woman, and no one ever talks about that someone can make a good series who fits all the diversity boxes. And I was just saying,
it's good on them for not using that.
Yeah, and I was saying that the writer of the first M3GAN would have been great if they had let her write She-Hulk, because I think she would have gotten that right, and there would have been a much darker tone to it that I think we all wanted. But in this case, they just went in a completely different direction. And other than the fact that it's using a character we're familiar with in the first M3GAN movie, it goes on a tone of basically killer robot movie, done in a fun kid way. A lot of the kills are off screen. A lot of kills are not as gory or gruesome as they were in the first. The suspense, there's not a lot of suspense in it, so it's very much a watered down version of the first movie. And I don't know, maybe I think I'm just gonna say I wouldn't recommend M3GAN 2.0.
I give it a bare recommend because I can't deny I had fun. And the new Amelia character, I really like. I like this whole. I did get convoluted at the end with M3GAN, like sort of being. Is it M3GAN in the internet? Is M3GAN like in the brain of? And I will say this also gets credit for Allison Williams is so good in this, in the sense that she takes everything deadly serious.
Yeah.
She is like, this is a goofy, weird, over the top script, but I'm gonna just act the shit out of it. She is so serious. And Allison Williams from the Soul series, which I caught a few episodes.
I'm not going to spoil it, but there's that heart-to-heart moment she has with M3GAN that is just hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, it's so dumb, but to make it work, she puts it deadly serious. She's not goofing on it. She's not dismissive. She like takes it dead. And that's the way to make a thing like this work. Something that's so over the top and goofy and illogical and, you know, crazy in terms of the events. But the audience I saw it with loved it. I can't deny I had a good time. It was dumb. I would probably even see it again as a whatever, just to like, because it is really fun. It really had the audience was like into it. And I don't know.
I would see
look, not as good as the first movie, but I'll say I give it a bare recommend, because if you can just like go with it, it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely tell people go see the first one over this one.
Well, for sure.
If you never saw M3GAN 2.0, your world will be fine. The other thing is, we've been seeing him a lot lately. The Aristotle Atani, he was in Molly and Max. He used to be on Saturday Night Live. He's pretty good in this one. I think he's still needs some more films under his credit to be a really good actor, but I think the thing I appreciate about this movie was the kind of the ending philosophy of why things were happening. I'll say I was into it, and then it got really convoluted at the end, but it was an interesting take on it. Something you don't normally see in a robot movie, especially one like this. It's something interesting there. I just don't think they stuck the landing with it, but I think it's a good attempt, but ultimately it just falls short of the recommend for me.
Look, if you want to have a good time at the movies, if you want to check your brain, and it does have at its core a good message about kids, and that is a conflict throughout the film. This whole thing, this being an advocate for kids shouldn't use technology, and kids, and Jermaine, we didn't mention Jermaine Clement, he's in this movie as some tech guru.
Yeah, he's Elon, basically.
Yeah, he's basically Elon Musk. It is hilarious. It's so dumb. In one scene, he's trying to seduce Amelia, or Amelia's trying to seduce him, and he opens his chest, and he has like scars and a perfect like six pack, but it's all like enhanced with surgery.
Yeah, it was plastic surgery on his abs to make abs.
To make abs. It's so, I don't know. That was funny. So look, it kept me entertained, and the audience was into it. And the woman who plays Amelia, Ivana Sagno, is that her name?
No, but you're getting close to something great.
I did not say anything crazy. Sakhno. I don't know how to pronounce it.
All I heard was Ivana Suck.
Yeah, you say it. Anyway, she's really good as Amelia. They do this thing where she looks kind of uncanny valley, but she's a real person, but uncanny. Same thing with M3GAN. It looks ishy. Her face is kind of weird. But anyways, I just had a good time. So it's a bare recommend. If you're not into it and you saw the first movie or didn't even see it, you're safe to pass. But I had a good time.
Yeah, the more you describe it, it's like
no thinking required for this movie.
Yeah, I mean, the more you describe it, it just feels like a kid's version of, or let's say a teen version of Megan, and it. I'll say it really comes off that way.
Well, Megan is something of a phenomenon, the TikTok dances and all that, like it inspired all that. And then you'll see like at events, someone brought a full-size Megan doll to the screening, which was fun. There are people that dress up like
Did he
Megan.
make out with her? Did he?
No, she was very short. I'm not gonna.
Okay.
That's
All
weird.
right.
Anyways, but there are people dress up as Megan. I think if this does well, there'll be a Megan. There'll be a M3GAN 3.0.